Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. I want to share a little bit today about your silence. Sometimes people think when you're silent, it means that, you're neutral. But silence does not always mean you're neutral. Sometimes silence is speaking out loud. And you have said something just by being silent. And it calls for you to have spoken out loud and you chose to remain silent. That is an answer. And that is your words, right? You chose not to say it out loud, but by you becoming silent and not saying anything, you definitely made a statement, right? We'll watch many times in life when situations are going on, and many times, I'm sitting back watching people, right? We're in a forum, in a room, in a conversation, and there's several there. And a topic comes up and everybody is voicing one way or another and you're remaining silent. You remain silent. Sometimes you say by choice because because you're remaining silent doesn't mean you don't have an answer. It doesn't mean you don't have an opinion. It just says that you want to keep that to yourself. But your silence doesn't mean you're neutral. It just means that you're not ready to speak about it out loud for whatever the reason may be, right? And sometimes I take silence and I listen to the silent answer because it is silent. I remember one time asking a question to someone and they would never answer the question directly. They would go around talking about this, but what they didn't understand was, I heard what you said. By you not answering the question, you answered the question, right? An example. You ever going to marry me? Well, that's a question. And then you go, one day, let's see how things change. Let's see how we, all of that was the answer. You didn't hear it? Because the simple answer should have been yes. I'm going to marry you. You know I'm going to marry you. And I'm just waiting on the right time. But that first response should have been yes. And it wasn't. Why? All right. Silence, does not always mean it was not an answer. Right? I sit in many meetings and I listen to a lot of people talking. And then I listen to the silent one while they're not saying anything. Right? Because you always know in every meeting, most of the time, there's always somebody who's more vocal, they know when the team leader or they the spokesperson. I remember many years ago when I was working at a particular place, and when the coworkers didn't like what was going on, and we would have a meeting, and they would look at me and say, Jenny, can you speak for us? I'm not the chosen one. I'm getting ready to speak for Jenny because I got something I want to say. And I'm going to speak for Jenny. Now, y'all go wherever you want to go. Because you know what I found out about people? I know you know it too, right? People will put you out there on a boat, push you out there, and take your oars. So you out there without any way to get back. But they told you, I'm with you. Come on. We can do it. Yeah. And they just are cheering you on. And then you get out there and say, right, y'all? Ain't that right, y'all? Y'all. Ain't no y'all, there's just you. Confronting the situation by yourself. So when I found that out early, no, sir, I ain't speaking for you. I'm speaking for me. Because I want to address this problem. Because it is a problem I need to address. Y'all think it's a problem too. But you don't want to address it. You want me to address it for you. That way, if they don't like what I just said, guess who gets in trouble? Just me. But if they do agree with what I said, guess who all receives the benefits? Everybody, right? Honey, I stopped that. No, I'm speaking for Jenny. As far as Jenny is concerned, this is what it is. This is how I feel. And look, let the chips fall where they may. Yes, so you don't like what I said and there's consequences, so be it, but I'm still going to speak on what I believe and what I feel as though should be spoken on. That's just it, right? So, and if I am silent, sometimes you in a conversation with somebody and they talking, and now we already discussed this, and they talking, and I'm remaining silent. Well, how come you ain't got nothing to say? Because we already talked about this. And that's one of my phrases. We've talked about this. And I've told you my stance on this. So you choosing to bring us up again, apparently it's something you need to talk about. Or you want to, get a feel and see whether or not, something has changed. I done told you about this. And so I'm not going to go and rehash and rehearse what I've already told you where I am on this. It has not changed. This is where I am, especially if it's a cold. It's a cold yes and it's a cold no. I mean, I already told you this is my stance. Come on now. So my silence has given you an answer. It has not changed. Recently I was in a meeting and we were talking about something. I don't know what it was. And anyway, and I had voiced something, and only one person replied to what I had voiced, and no one else had replied to a statement I made. Now, because they did not reply to what I had sent out, did not mean they didn't speak. Because to me, you not replying was your statement, right? And I heard it loud and clear, and I pay attention to that. And the last thing you want to do to people is don't go messing with people who have a great memory, right? People who don't have a good memory, you can dance all around them. You could dance all around because their memory is is short term and they can't remember long. So you can play with them on things that they said or didn't say. And I know that because I had an operation. Oh gosh, probably 2013, I believe it was, and the neurosurgeon told me it would affect my memory for a while, right? Because messing with your nerves and stuff, right? So and it did, and I'd be in the middle of trying to say something and I couldn't think of the words, right? So I'd be lost. I knew what the word was, but I couldn't. I know the word, but I could not bring it up. So it made me lay back on a lot because I was a speaker, and I did a lot of presentations, and I had to fall back from doing those things because I could be in the middle of doing a presentation and forget the words I need to be saying because my memory, I had these lapses in my memory of words that I couldn't remember the words I need to be saying next. And so not only did it affect my presentations and where I worked, but at home I had children, teens, small teens, and whatever. But they was taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't remember. And they would say things like, Mama, remember we're supposed to be going to thus and thus? Is it still okay, Mama, did I do thus and thus? And I couldn't remember what, did I say, did I tell you yeah? Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And I'm like, dang, it's something I know I should have said yes to because I know that's not me. But if I told him yes, because I was, not myself, so to speak, now, I got to go with that. So it started going on a little regular that they were telling me that I had said okay to things that I normally would not have said okay to. So then it began to hit me. I said, there's a possibility that my children are playing with the fact that they know I'm having this memory lapse, right? I said, so I begin to pray. And you may have heard me talk about this before. I begin to pray, and I asked, I cannot afford to lose my memory at this juncture in life. Really ever. Right? I can't afford to lose my memory. So I need you to not only restore my memory, but I want you to jolt all those electrodes and whatever is going on back here. I mean, you put some electricity to them, and I want you to shock them up good. That I can remember and more. I want that memory to be sharp. This is what I stated. And all of a sudden, within days, my memory started getting better. And they would say something to me, and I said, no, that's not correct. Oh, Mama, you know us. No, that's not correct. So until I can think about that, the answer is no. And then I got sharper. And today, honey, please, the worst thing a liar hates is somebody with a good memory. And I'm on it. I'm on it. You say something to me, I'm on it. I lock it down, honey. And I tell people, honey, when you said that, I marked it. Or I took note of what you said. You know, mental notes, honey. So that when this conversation comes up again, we can conversate. And I guarantee you, I can tell you basically where we were and how the conversation got started and why we had this discussion. Right? Because I never want to be in a place where I could not say something and not remember what I said, especially if it's important to the other person who in which I'm speaking or not speaking. Because again, silence is still an answer. Right? And so I tell people, oh no, I heard you. But maybe you've forgotten. Oh, honey, that's the last phrase you want to use to me, honey. Me forgetting? I ain't forgot, honey. Let me tell you what happened. Let me share with you how we got here, right? And I had someone talk to me one time. It's kind of funny, right? But they had me hot. But it's funny now. And you know, they was upset with me and talking to me about something they was upset about. And I said, well, you know, they were talking, right? And I said, no, let me finish. I said, oh, okay, hold 1 second then. Hold 1 second. Let me get my little pen and paper while you're talking. I said, because I want to make sure I'm taking notes. So when my turn comes for me to speak, I can, you know, go back to some of these notes that you're talking about. So give me a second. And, okay. So I went, got my little pen and paper, and they went to talking. And honey, I clocked them. They were about 20 minutes going strong. And they started repeating the same thing that they had said from the beginning. And it all lined up to the same topic, but I let them go ahead and talk. And when they finished talking, and it was my turn to speak, it was a great day in heaven. And when the angels began to sing, it was a great day. Because when my turn came, I said, okay, let's talk about this. Because you talked about this, and I just ran it down, right? You know, it's this, and this, right? And they said, yeah, that's okay. Now, we talked about this. And I said, now, based on the conversation that we had, and we talked about this is the reason why this, and this is in play. Do you remember that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I said, so, moving forward, and we will move forward on this now. I said, we're not going over this no more. You done spent 20 minutes of my time talking about something we have already talked about. And the reason why we own this topic that you're talking about is because you said that this is something you could not do. So because you said you could not do this, I never brought this topic up because you said you couldn't do it. Right? So why would I tap on something that I know you can't do? So I never played with it. Now you bringing it up like you can still, now you can do it. Oh, that's right. I said, oh. All right. Okay then. You know, be careful talking to people. And sometimes having to remain silent does not mean at any juncture, any place, that you don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes silence just means it ain't worth you talking about. You ain't got to reply to that, right? And by you not replying, they got the message. Trust me, they got the message. You know. I go in different social events, and I go out, and somebody's talking to me, and oh yeah, blah 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 blah, and okay, and I'm being polite, and I'm answering the questions or whatever that I want to answer, and they go talking about something that I don't think should be a part of this conversation at all, right? I don't say a word about it, and they be sitting there waiting, and I don't say anything. Now my silence just spoke volume. It's up to you to have heard it, but I spoke volume in that silence, you know. Oh, so where you live? And I'm silent. That has nothing to do with this arena that we're in right now, where I live. And definitely, I have no reason to tell you, who I don't know, where I live. Like I'm some school child. You know, I used to get on my daughter all the time when she was younger. I said, stop telling people where you live. You don't know them folks. You're up in your daggone, what you call it, DM, inbox, whatever it is. Stop telling people where you live. Stop giving people your personal information. You don't know them. You have no idea what their intentions are. You know, people just, sometimes you just need to remain silent. Isn't that a part of Miranda rights? You have the right to remain silent. Use them rights, honey, and don't say a word. Just let them go ahead and, you know. I know sometimes people be angry and they just saying a whole lot of crazy stuff. And sometimes you just stay silent, right? And you could be laying them out, honey, inside, but you know, just stay silent. Don't burn energy. And I tell people, look, your energy is precious. Preserve your energy, because you're going to need it. Because I'm telling you, this day and time, you won't need all the energy you got, honey. Preserve your energy. People trying to pull your energy and get you to a low vibration. You know what I mean? And when you go on that low vibration, right, you're easy attack. You know, you're easy prey, easy to be attacked, right? Because you know, everything you got is on a low. Please, like you're trying to ride off your gas tank's on empty. You trying to, I'm gonna make this 100-mile trip on an empty tank. You set up to fall. It's the same thing. When you know, and nobody should know better than you, despite your smiles, despite what you're saying, you know that your energy is low, or your frequency is low, or your vibration, whatever words you want to use. You know it's low. Don't allow people to pull and pick to get you to use what little bit you got left on them. And it's meaningless, right? And then find people in your village who can help restore some of your energy or pour into you so it can build your energy and help you to be refueled. If you know you're getting low, and you know, anybody got to tell you, you don't need no phone call, nobody to pull no cards for you. You know your energy is low. You know you're at a place that you about gave out. You're tired on top of tired. You're not only physically tired, you're spiritually and mentally tired. You know it. Do not engage in unnecessary conversations or arguments or situations that's going to pull what little you got left. You're going to need all of that. Instead, let them talk. You remain silent. And then you find some folks in your village. And if you don't have a village, you need to go looking for one. You know? Because they got some friendly villages out there that don't mind, you know, accepting people in. You know? Becoming a part of their tribe. Right? A part of their lifestyle. The way they do things. And I'm not talking about a physical place. I'm talking about a spiritual place where you need to be connected to so you can get strength from somebody when you are low, when you need help, when you need guidance, when you need understanding. So, remaining silent does not mean you have not spoken. It just means that the words out loud, because honey, when you put the words out there in the atmosphere, once they go out, you can't pull them back. They're out there. That's why we got to be careful what we put out. Because once it's out, it's out there, right? And then be responsible and accountable for every word you've spoken. Because them your words. Stand behind them. And if you don't like what you said, and you know you can't take it back, the next motion is apologize for it. Okay? Let me apologize. I should never have said that. I should never have done that. I should have never, whatever it is. Apologize for it. So it will lessen the damage. Because you can't stop that damage, but you can lessen it just by an apology. You know, words that you said to somebody that you should not have said has affected them, has hurt them, has damaged them, or has caused some harm to them. Now, you can't change that because you said it. But by apologizing, it can ease that. And it can help them, heal faster. Because you have put some salve on the wound. So never get to a place that you can apologize when you know you had no business doing, saying what you did. You know? Sometimes we are still reaping, right? Things that we have said and done years back. You know? Here we are. And just like people have hurt us, there have been some people we have also hurt. Am I correct? Of course I am. So remember that. Now, moving forward today, I want you to have a fantastic day. I want you to let your light forever shine. You be awesome in everything you do. And remember, everything that comes your way, anybody who comes in your direction, whatever is said in your arena, you do not have to reply openly. Silence sometimes is golden. Let them stew on what they think you're thinking. Isn't amazing? Isn't that nice? You know, you got an answer, but you choose to let them think. Make them use their brain sometimes. They're using yours all the time. Make them think. You know, sometimes it's good for them. Sometimes it's good for you to practice, you know, to be quiet, to be more silent, okay? If you're more vocal. Have a fantastic day. Let your light so shine. I love you. Be blessed, be whole, be fulfilled. This is Jenny O. Y'all with Nugs and Things. Thank you.